Hi! It's been a while since I posted anything, but as you can tell, I'm in a totally new kitchen. Since the last time I made something, we've actually moved from Boston to Portland, Oregon, which I'm super excited about. And one of the best parts is this beautiful apartment. So I now have this amazing kitchen with my dream island with a rack over it. So I get to cook here now, which is fantastic. I've made some really awesome meals since we moved here. Today, what I'm going to make and share with all of you is lentil soup. This is definitely a go-to recipe for me, especially when it starts to get cold out like it is now. The reason that I love it, it's pretty easy to make. It's all in one pot. It doesn't take super long, and there's a lot of vegetable chopping, but you're kind of chopping as you go. So you don't have a ton of prep to cook it afterwards. We'll go through that. I love it because it's really filling, and it makes a lot of serving. So I can spend some time cooking it. Again, it's not a super hard recipe to make, and then you have like 10 meals for the week. So I'm just gonna collect up all the ingredients that we need and get started.
The first step is to add 1 tablespoon of oil to a pot over medium heat. I use sunflower seed oil. It's a good oil to cook things at a fairly high temperature at, but if you have a go-to oil, go ahead and use that one. And we're going to prep 1 large sweet onion. I really prefer Vidalia sweet onions, but you can use a regular yellow onion for this if you'd like. And don't judge my chopping skills. I'm not a professional chef, but I'm certainly not cutting my fingers off. It gets the job done. And then I'm going to add 5 celery stalks to the onions in the bowl. And you'll notice I like to have 2 bowls in my workspace as I'm cooking. I've got my compost on the left, and then I've got the bowl collecting my ingredients, so it's easier to add them to the pot. So once we've got that oil nice and hot, we're going to go ahead and add the celery and onion so we can really start to get those good flavors going. It should start to smell really nice. We're also going to add half a teaspoon of salt at this point just to keep those flavors coming. Go ahead and incorporate that in, and then we'll move on to the next veggie. Next, we're going to add 4 medium carrots. You can add really as many carrots as you like here. And one of the beautiful things about this soup is you really can customize exactly what you're adding. You can add parsnips, mushrooms, shallots. But here I've got carrots. So I've just peeled and chopped those carrots. And now we're going to go ahead and add those to the onions and celery. They should be getting a little bit soft and translucent at this point. So we're going to drop those carrots right in. Next, we're going to add a teaspoon of cumin. This adds a lot of flavor to the soup, and it really isn't my true lentil soup without cumin added in. So we're just going to incorporate that as well. And you might be wondering, this doesn't really look like soup. Well, at this point, we're going to start to add some liquid. I'm using vegetable bouillon, so I'm just adding water for now, and I'm going to add the bouillon once the liquid is hot enough to truly mix in. So I'm going to try to get that up to a high simmer or boil, but I've gone ahead and just added 10 cups of water. Next, we're going to chop up our sausages. This is totally optional as well. I'm using the tofurkey Italian sausages because they're both mine and my partner's favorite for the soup. And you can just go ahead and add those in. And once that soup reaches a simmer, now I'm going to add my bouillon. You'll notice it as I kind of keep stirring. It gets a little darker, and it looks more like broth than water now. And that better than bouillon is definitely my favorite one to use. I accidentally did not film these potatoes, but I chopped them up and now I've added them. And I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 cups of red lentils as well. We're going to add some fresh thyme at this point. This also helps a lot with the flavor. You can also garnish with fresh thyme as you're serving the soup. And now we want to get it to a nice simmer. We're going to cover it and let it cook for 15 minutes. While it's cooking, we don't just want to sit around doing nothing. This is a busy soup. So we're going to go ahead and prep our bunch of kale. So you can do less kale if you'd like, or you can do a different green like spinach if that more floats your boat. But I'm just going to prep this whole head of kale. So I remove the stalks. I find them a little bit bitter, and I add those to my compost. But I like to just keep the leaves, and then I chop them up nice and small so that you're not getting huge mouthfuls of kale. So once we do hit that 15-minute timer, you're going to notice the lentils have really cooked down, the potatoes are nice and soft, and we're just going to turn off the heat and mix in all of that delicious kale.
Thanks for tuning in to see how I make my favorite lentil soup. I am so excited to dig into a bowl of it right now. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see what I do next or support me, I'd love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Subscribe! Let me know if you make this. I'll drop the link to the recipe on my blog in the description, and I'll see you next time.